Good afternoon. My name is L.R. Kennan, and for this video, we will be examining Richard T. Hughes' Reviving the Ancient Faith, the story of the Churches of Christ in America. This is part of my research for a paper that I did titled Unity and Division, the Restoration Movement and the Churches of Christ in America. And we're looking at issues that cause division in the Churches of Christ from 1860 forward. The book is one of the sources I used. Hughes is like myself. He's a lifelong member of the Church of Christ, and he does talk about objectivity in his writing, and I have tried to also be very objective in my writing as well. Objectivity is the key. He does not deny there's personal interpretations, and I try to also be objective, but I do also try to rely upon my own personal knowledge as a source also. Some of the splintering comes from the beliefs that between Barton W. Stone and Alexander Campbell, who started the Restoration Movement, those gentlemen had a disagreement over end times. Stone believed in premillennialism, and Alexander Campbell believed in postmillennialism. And so other groups took the book of Revelation figuratively, and some took it literally within the Restoration Movement. Hughes starts with a breakdown of the Churches of Christ into 8 major wings. And together these wings compose of 1.7 million members of the Church of Christ in the United States. And that is a census from 1990. Of course, it's larger today. Among those 8 wings, we're going to look at 5 of the major groups. We have the premillennial Churches of Christ. They believe in a 1,000-year reign of Christ on earth at the end times. I saw a lot of those in Central Texas where I grew up. The non-class Churches of Christ, this group takes 1 Corinthians 1:10 and let there be no divisions among you. And they don't believe in having like Sunday school classes and divisions like that. They have just one Bible study and one church service. There's the one-cuppers. And then the one-cuppers, or officially the one-cup Churches of Christ, they read an account of Matthew 26:27, then he took a cup in a singular sense. They take that literally, and they pass one physical cup for the communion. It should be noted, Churches of Christ in England also use one cup, but that's out of tradition, not out of the reading of that from Matthew. And my source for that was Keith Seisman, who was a Church of Christ preacher in England. So many of the one-cuppers refer to Churches of Christ who use individual cups as digressives for that. The anti-institutional Churches of Christ, also called the antis, also called non-institutional or conservative. This group believes in using the treasury of the church specifically to the New Testament examples. They don't believe using the church treasury outside of that. They believe members are responsible for helping widows and orphans out of their own pockets, according to James 1:27. These churches are not mainstream. They don't have church kitchens or fellowship halls or church buses because they don't believe the treasury should be used for that. Mainstream or institutional Churches of Christ, there's similar many ways in doctrine to the non-institutional, except they do have use the church treasury for orphans' homes, to build a fellowship hall and buses and such. So the outside of the buildings, you can tell the difference, and then there's that doctrinal difference I just mentioned. The International Boston Churches of Christ, also called the ICOC, they separated in 1993 from mainstream Churches of Christ, the institutional ones, and they did not go out and do radio and television broadcasts. They went out and did a very aggressive personal ministry, and they targeted a lot of colleges in that point. So that was that. So the central idea goes back to what Thomas Campbell says, speak where the Bible speaks, be silent where the Bible is silent. And I'm paraphrasing Thomas Campbell there. And this has been used to examine theological, sectional, even racial thought in the Churches of Christ. So that is my analysis of the book. I greatly appreciate your time. Thank you to my peers for your replies, and have an excellent day.